What's going on, guys? This is Hard Chicken here, and I'm here to bring you guys a build video based on the ongoing directive gear set. This is a pretty strong build, especially in PvE. They changed it up ever since they changed the talents up just a little bit, based off of the changing it from 6-piece to a four-piece in this title update 6. But they made it a lot more valuable in PvE, and I don't really hear too many people talking about this gear set. So without further ado, let's get into it. A few notable facts about this build. It's a very synergistic build. It fits any playstyle, and the DPS on this build is pretty high. It's kind of two ways to run this build, and as you can see, I'm running the four pieces I'm running is the mask, chest piece, holster, and the knee pads. The talents on the gear set, 2 pieces give you bleed damage. 3 pieces give you emergency requisition, combat resources, armor kits, ammo, grenades within 40 meters of you are collected when your weapon is reloaded. I underestimated this talent when I first seen it. I was just like, collecting. I'm like, you really need it. It's not really a big deal, but it actually comes in handy a lot when you're using this gear set. It pretty much keeps you from having to go out and like get ammo and shit while you when you reload. So like if you kill somebody at a distance and a med kit is out there, or ammo, or some materials or something like that, if you reload your weapon, there's like a pulse that'll go out, and it is pretty much scan the area up to 40 meters, which is a pretty big distance. And when the pulse comes back in, it collects pretty much everything that you need out there. The 4-piece, the right tool, killing an enemy affected by a status effect drops explosive ammo. Now, this is the heart of the build. So, explosive ammo gives bleed. It applies bleed to an enemy. So, anytime you get explosive ammo, you end up applying bleed. When you kill somebody with that bleed, they drop explosive ammo. So it's pretty much like a cycle. And the way they got it working is that like this version right here, it sounds OP, like especially in PvE, but like you can't bring this version into PvP. The version that they have for PvP is the old talent, which is killing an enemy with a weapon, not status effect, but just a weapon, grants some special ammo, which would be either incendiary or explosive, to one of your weapons. So if you kill an enemy in PvP, you get special ammo, but you don't get the full amount of the special ammo. You only get like a few bullets of it, and it's on a random weapon. It's on one of your random weapons that you have equipped. So you're not gonna be able to use this version in PvP. So the guns I'm using with it is the Invisible Hand Sadist. They're 30% bleed damage to bleeding enemies. After 3 kills, apply bleed to the next enemy you hit. Now, like I said, the explosive ammo itself causes bleed. So if you kill somebody, so if you get the explosive ammo, you shoot somebody, land a bullet, and they start bleeding, your gun automatically is doing 30% more weapon damage to that bleeding enemy. Then not only that, you killing them, so he drops explosive ammo. So that's how that works. I'm using the Merciless. So if you don't have the Merciless, it's no big deal. It's not essential to the build, but it works really, really well. The talents on it: binary trigger. This weapon is equipped with a binary trigger that fires a trigger pull and release. Guerrilla warfare. Pulling the trigger fires primer rounds that stay embedded in the enemy. Releasing the trigger fires detonator rounds that detonate all primers on the enemy it hits. Each primer detonated gains 100% damage per primer detonated. Only one enemy can have primers, and at most 5 primers can be embedded. Brutality. While holstered, landing a shot has a 5% chance to deal 100% damage as explosive damage. So the explosive damage is going to be the explosive damage from the detonator rounds is going to be the key thing to this gun right here. Now you don't have to apply all 5 bullets. It shoots like a burst, like a 2 burst. But you know, applying the bullets doesn't really matter. It just, like I said, the explosive rounds itself. And that brutality, that holster, 5% chance to deal 100% damage or explosive damage, that comes in handy a lot too when I'm using the invisible hand, which is, you know, the main weapon. So what I have rolled on the mask is 38% damage to elites, 11,327 health. The mod I'm using on it, the offensive mod, is the 1% weapon damage, 2% damage to armor, 3% assault rifle damage. What I have rolled in the chest piece is 16% total armor, 20,261 health, 9.5% critical hit damage. If you can get a chest piece that has weapon damage instead of crit damage, that'll make your chest piece a whole lot better. So I have total armor, health, and then weapon damage. And then the talent I have on it is destructive, 40% plus 40% explosive damage. You want to get that explosive damage and your bleed damage as high as possible. That's the key thing to this build as well, to your DPS at least. The mod I have on this chest piece is the offensive mod, is 2% weapon damage, 1% damage to armor, 1% damage to health. Defensive mod is 2,013 armor, 2.5% health, 4% total armor. Utility mod is the 88 skill power, which doesn't matter, 2% explosive damage, and 3.5% burn damage, which doesn't matter. Like I said, you want to make sure you get the explosive damage as high as possible. The holster I have rolled is 12% critical hit damage, 8,594 health. Offensive mod is 2% weapon damage, 2% rifle damage, and 3% assault rifle damage. So those 3 rolls on this mod is perfect for it. And then I got another one that's 2.5% weapon damage, 2% rifle damage, and 3% assault rifle damage. So I was blessed to get those mods to go perfect with this build. The backpack, I'm using a Murakami Industries backpack, but for that 8% health to raise my survivability up. 15,461 armor, 6,539 health, and 6.5% weapon damage. I have the talents Harden, and I have Spark. Now, the good thing about Spark, right, is that it can be activated by the Merciless because of the primary and the detonator rounds. The Merciless holster talent, brutality. So when I'm using the invisible hand and I get that 5%, and that 5% chance activates for that 100% explosive damage, that activates Spark as well. And, you know, of course, it's activated by the explosive ammo and the Seeker. So you have 4 ways to activate this talent, and each time that you land an explosive hit, it just refreshes. So most of the time, you're gonna be proccing this Spark and getting that 15% weapon damage for 15 seconds. Like you're gonna be constantly proccing that. So that's the thing with That's another reason why the Merciless also plays a good role, because you consistently have explosive damage, Spark that's, you know, activating the Spark at all times. So the gloves, I on these set of gloves I have Wicked, and I chose to use the Gilligard gloves for that 5% total armor, again boosting my survivability. With 20,151 health and 4% rifle damage, the talent is Wicked. When you apply a status effect, gain 15% weapon damage for 20 seconds. So anytime I apply that bleed, then I'm getting 15%, 15% more weapon damage. So if I have explosive ammo, right, I'm proccing Spark and Wicked at the same time. So I'm getting an extra 30% weapon damage for at least 15 seconds. 30% weapon damage just by shooting my gun with explosive ammo. So that bumps your weapon damage up really, really high. That boosts your DPS up really, really high. Now, if you want to, if you don't have Wicked and you want something kind of like, you kind of want to guarantee that you proc a status, then you can roll with kneecap. Once every 30 seconds applies bleed to an enemy hitting the legs for 10 seconds. So if at any time you wanted to, if for some reason you don't have, maybe you don't have your seeker up, or you don't have your explosive ammo, and you don't have your 3 kills yet from the Satyrs talent, then you can just shoot somebody in the knee and proc your 30 and get your 30% damage, from the Satyrs, because that person is bleeding. So you get to 30% damage, and then you kill them while you kill them within those 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden they'll drop the explosive ammo. So this is like a kind of like it's an easier way to run the build, because again, you have another way, you've added another way to proc bleed, but you also lose out on that 15% from Wicked, so from applying that status effect. So it really either one will work. And also the good thing about kneecap is that you can apply bleed with any weapon. So you can shoot somebody in the knee or in the leg with the merciless, the explosive, and you will be able to apply proc bleed. So it really depends on how you want to run it. Like I said, kneecap or Wicked to be perfectly fine for the build. The knee pads, I have 10% total armor. The mod I have on it is the offensive mod, 1.5% weapon damage, 2% rifle damage, 3% assault rifle damage. So that's another rifle damage and assault rifle damage mod. The defensive mod I have 603 armor, 384 armor regeneration, 4.5% total armor. Now the defensive mod that I'm using, they all have to do with total armor. Like that's what boosts your armor up like a lot higher. I thought it was the solid numbers, like 2,603, because I have a mod that actually has, it's like 5,264 armor and like 2.5% total armor or something like that. And I thought that actually raised my armor up higher, but it's actually the total armor percentage that actually, if that's higher, then your armor be a lot higher than that. So if you have any high total armor percentages, make sure to run those to boost your survivability up. As you can see, I have 307 K armor and I have 103 health. So that's my advice to you. Let's see. My skills. The skills I'm using. The skills really don't matter. Obviously, I got 3 utility mods, but that's for to raise my explosive damage. I forgot to say, the mod I'm using on my gloves is the scale power, explosives damage, 3.5% explosive damage, and 2% headshot kills. And on the backpack is 76 scale power, 3% explosive damage, 3% bleed damage. So those are the utility mods that I'm using. The scale I'm using is the Revive Hive. When I run solo, I use the Revive Hive so I can keep myself, getting back up or whatever. But it really doesn't matter what you run. It really doesn't matter what skill you run. Now, the Seeker. I prefer that if you're going to run this build, you make sure you have the Seeker on you. The reason being, it's probably the easiest way to proc bleed. I mean, outside of kneecap. Outside of kneecap, it's the easiest skill to proc bleed. And if you get a kill with it, like if you kill a red bar, they automatically drop explosive ammo. Automatically. And that's because, getting hit with this particular Seeker, the first one, it automatically procs bleed. So if you automatically proc and bleed, if the person get killed with it, then it automatically drops explosive ammo. So the first thing I like to do is throw the Seeker out and aim at a red bar enemy. Once I kill the red bar enemy, I have my explosive ammo and we're ready to go. So that's what I have. That's what I have in this build. As you can see, it's 10 red, 10 blue, and 3 yellow, which is, like I said, my utility mods. So the way it works all together, you throw out a Seeker. You throw out a Seeker at a red bar enemy. So it kills the red bar enemy, and it activates Spark and it activates Wicked because the bleed from the Seeker is what procs all this. So one kill will activate Spark, Wicked, and you'll get explosive ammo. So once you reload, right, then the combat resources within 40 meters, which includes the explosive ammo, will be collected. So then you shoot the enemies and you apply the bleed, then it activates Sadist. So now you got your 30% weapon damage, your 15% weapon damage, plus 15% weapon damage, which is 45, plus another 15% weapon damage, which is 60. So now you got a 60% weapon damage, right? Just off of having explosive ammo. 60%. So then as you're getting your kills, right? I'm talking about you are mowing these motherfuckers down. As you get your 3 kills, let's just say if you happen to, I don't know, apply a bunch of bleed, but you don't kill somebody, chances are you've gotten your 3 kills already. So now you can apply a free bleed after those 3 kills, which again gives you your 30% weapon damage. So, and then not only that, not even thinking about it, you're having a 5% chance to proc 100% damage as explosive damage while you're shooting. While you're shooting your main weapon. So if that happens, then you proc Spark again, and you get that 15% weapon damage. So it just all works in conjunction with each other, and it's a pretty strong build. Like I said, I love it. I love this build. So yeah, that's that's the main. That's how the build works. That's how the build works all together in conjunction. It's okay for groups. Like if you want to run it in a group. The only thing you got to watch out for though is that if somebody is like if somebody has a status effect on them and you're trying to kill that enemy, just hope that you get the last kill from that enemy. Like because it's sometimes you can proc bleed on an enemy, and then while you shooting them, your one of your teammates to shoot them, and then you don't get it because they got the last kill. They got the kill from it. So you just got to be careful for that. That's really the only downside I say to running in the group. Is that you got to make sure you kill the enemy with a status effect. It don't have to be bleed. It can be any status effect. But once you kill that enemy with a status effect, then you get your explosive ammo. But if, like I said, if your partner kills them, somebody else on your team kills that enemy with a status effect, you're not gonna get it. Another thing I've experienced every blue moon, like it's not often at all, but every blue moon, I've thrown out my Seeker and it doesn't follow me. So I guess it'll bug out or whatever, and it won't follow me to wherever I need to go. Like if I throw my Seeker out and I killed it and I happen to shoot all the enemies before the Seeker can get to them, and it'll follow me. But then like if I go through a door or something, then it'll just stay there, and I have to like pretty much destroy it before because it won't follow. So that has happened a couple times. Another tip is I try to keep explosive ammo on all weapons. So if I kill an enemy with that has a status effect and I see the explosive ammo and I'm trying to get it on my merciless, I shoot or whatever and I reload. And so when the pulse goes out, I just switch weapons. So when I pull my merciless out, when the pulse comes back in, then it'll collect the explosive ammo and it'll be on my merciless. And then I just switch back to my invisible hand. So I try to keep explosive ammo on all my guns. Also, this build is also like especially when you have the explosive ammo, it's really really good against the robot dogs. When you're going against Black Tusk, the big robot dog, the big ones and the small ones. It does a lot of damage to those, and they drop quick. So that's one thing that's good about this build. You don't need nothing. You know, you don't have to sit there for about feels like 20 minutes straight trying to destroy whatever hard ass armor they got on it. So if you got explosive ammo, or even just the merciless itself is strong enough to, you know, without the explosive ammo, to take out a robot dog with no problem. And oh, also, you don't have to have an assault rifle with this build. You can use it with any build. You can use it with any gun as long as it has the Sadis talent on it. That's it. As long as it has the Sadis talent on it, then you're perfectly fine. Whether if it's a submachine gun, a rifle, shotgun, sniper rifle, as long as it has Sadis on it, you're fine. So I'm gonna show you guys some gameplay with the build, but it's gonna be on a separate video because this video is already gonna be long enough. So I'm gonna have this video, and then I'm gonna upload a gameplay video afterwards with this build, so you can get a good idea of how it works. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the build. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, hit me up in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as best as possible. And you guys have a lovely evening. Hard chicken out. Also, the stat sheet. I have let's see, 15.5% weapon damage, 27% assault rifle damage, 25% rifle damage bonus, 38% damage to elites, 3% armor damage, 30% health damage, 73.5% explosive damage. So that explosive damage is pretty up there. Yeah, so that's the build. Hope you guys enjoyed it.